The desert was silent that night, a heavy, endless silence broken only by the soft hum of wind. Captain Ryan Cole sat inside his fighter jet, 30,000 feet above the earth, staring into the dark horizon. It was supposed to be a routine patrol, another long, lonely night in the sky. But something strange blinked on his radar, a light that wasn't supposed to be there. It wasn't a plane, it wasn't a drone. It was something else. At first, Ryan thought it was a glitch, but then, the sky in front of him tore open like glass hit by a hammer. A glowing object, brighter than lightning, streaked across the clouds. His jet shook violently as the light passed over him, leaving a trail of blue sparks in its wake. Ryan grabbed the controls, trying to steady the aircraft. The radio went dead. The radar turned to static. And for a moment he felt the world stop. Then he heard it. A deep, strange hum, almost like a heartbeat echoing through his cockpit. His eyes widened. The light was slowing down, spiraling, crashing toward the desert below. Command control shouted through the broken radio. "Captain Cole, disengage. That's not one of ours." But Ryan didn't listen. Something inside him told him to follow it. He pushed the throttle forward and dove after the falling object, cutting through the smoke and chaos. He saw it hit the ground. A massive impact, a storm of dust and light. When Ryan landed his jet nearby, the desert air was thick with the smell of burned metal and something unfamiliar, like ozone and flowers. He stepped out, his boots crunching on hot sand, and walked toward the crater. What he saw made his heart stop. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't a satellite. It was a ship, smooth and silver, half buried in the sand, glowing faintly with blue veins of light that pulsed like veins under skin. The air around it shimmered, bending light in strange ways. Ryan slowly raised his flashlight and stepped closer. The ship seemed alive, whispering soft mechanical sounds like breathing. Then he saw a hand press weakly against a glass panel. Ryan froze. Behind the glass was a girl. Her skin was pale silver, her hair like strands of white light floating around her face. Her eyes, large, shimmering violet, were filled with fear and pain. She was bleeding, but the blood glowed faintly, almost like liquid stars. For a moment, Ryan forgot how to breathe. He climbed onto the ship and tried to open the hatch. It didn't move. Inside, the girl mouthed something, her lips forming a word he didn't understand. Ryan slammed his fist against the glass again and again until it cracked. Heat burst out, throwing him backward, but he crawled back up, tearing off pieces of the wreck until the opening was wide enough to reach in. The girl fell into his arms, trembling, gasping for air. Her skin was cold but smooth like metal, and her breathing was shallow. Ryan pulled off his jacket and wrapped it around her. "You're gonna be okay," he said softly, though he had no idea if she understood. She tried to speak, but only a faint whisper came out, like a song from another world. He realized she couldn't survive Earth's atmosphere. Her skin was drying, cracking, her veins glowing brighter as her body failed. He looked around desperately. There was nothing, just sand, wreckage, and stars. Then he remembered the small cut on his hand, bleeding from when he broke the glass. When her glowing fingers brushed against his wound, the light pulsed, stronger this time, and she gasped, her eyes snapping open. Ryan didn't understand what was happening, but she pressed her hand against his, their blood mixing in the faint moonlight. The light grew until it surrounded them both. Ryan felt something rush into his veins, like electricity, like fire, like someone else's heartbeat joining his own. His vision blurred. He could hear her voice now, but inside his head, not in words but in feelings. Fear, pain, gratitude, connection. Then everything went dark. When Ryan opened his eyes, the ship had stopped glowing. The girl lay still in his arms, her breathing slow but steady. He touched his chest. His heartbeat was no longer his alone. It felt shared. He stood up, carrying her toward his jet. But headlights appeared on the horizon, military trucks racing toward the crash site. Panic hit him. If they found her, they'd lock her away. Experiment, study, break her apart. He looked down at her peaceful face, then at the soldiers getting closer. A loud explosion made him turn. The alien ship suddenly folded in on itself, disappearing into thin air with a flash of blue light. The soldiers arrived seconds later, weapons raised. "Captain Cole, step away from the crash," shouted a voice. But when they searched the crater, there was nothing left. No ship, no wreck, no alien. Only Ryan standing in the center, holding his hand and staring at the faint silver glow under his skin. He didn't know it yet. But that single moment, that single drop of shared blood, had already changed the fate of the galaxy forever. Captain Ryan Cole woke up in total silence. Bright white lights burned his eyes. A slow, steady beep echoed in the room, a heart monitor. He was in a hospital. Ryan tried to sit up, but his body felt heavy like he had been asleep for days. His head throbbed. He looked down. His hand was bandaged, the same hand that had touched the alien girl. Memories came crashing back. The desert, the glowing ship, her eyes, her blood mixing with his. He gasped, was it real? Or just a dream from the crash? A nurse entered the room, smiled faintly and said, "You're lucky to be alive, Captain." He tried to ask about the crash site, but she only shrugged. "They found nothing," she said. "No wreckage, no body, just you unconscious, nothing." Ryan's heart raced. The ship had vanished, just like she did. That night, Ryan couldn't sleep. The machines around him flickered. The TV on the wall turned on by itself. Static, whispering sounds, faint voices. He felt watched. Then he heard it, a soft voice in his head. A girl's voice, calm, tired. "Ryan?" He froze. The room went colder. His pulse jumped on the monitor. "Who's there?" He whispered, eyes wide. No one answered out loud, but the voice came again, clearer this time. "You saved me." Ryan's breath hitched. It was her, the alien princess. Suddenly his body jerked. His veins glowed faint blue for a second, then faded. The nurse rushed in. "Sir, your heart rate..." But before she finished, the machines all shut down. The lights flickered again. Then everything returned to normal as if nothing happened. Ryan looked at his hands. Tiny sparks danced under his skin. He could feel her emotions, confusion, fear, loneliness. They were inside his mind like soft waves. The nurse stared at him nervously. "I'll call the doctor," Ryan forced a smile. "No need. I'm fine." But deep down he knew he wasn't fine at all. The next day, military intelligence officers arrived. 2 men in black suits, calm, expressionless. They asked the same questions again and again, about the crash, about what he saw, about the light. Ryan lied. He told them his jet malfunctioned, that he saw nothing but debris. They exchanged a look, one of quiet suspicion. When they left, Ryan noticed a small black device under his bed. A tracker. They were watching him. He clenched his fist, feeling anger burn in his chest, but it wasn't only his anger. It was hers too. Their emotions were now one. That night, as rain hit the hospital windows, Ryan heard her again. This time stronger. "Ryan, they found me." He sat up, heart pounding. "Where are you?" He whispered. "Underground, cold, metal walls. I can't move." He closed his eyes, focusing on the voice. In his mind, flashes appeared. White corridors, humans in lab coats, and her glowing skin behind glass. She was trapped. Ryan ripped the IV from his arm and stumbled out of bed. He didn't know how, but he felt where she was, like a compass inside his chest, pulling him toward her. He stole a car from the hospital lot and drove through the storm. Every mile, the connection grew stronger. He could feel her heartbeat echoing inside his own. Pain, fear, and something else. Trust. He stopped outside a hidden facility deep in the desert, surrounded by fences and guards. The kind of place that didn't exist on maps. Ryan hid behind a dune, scanning the compound. He didn't have a plan. He didn't even know how he got there. But when he looked down, his hands glowed faintly blue again. Energy pulsed through his veins, and for a moment the air around him shimmered. Something inside him was changing. He snuck in through the back gate, moving quietly past patrols. His vision had sharpened. He could see in the dark now. His hearing caught whispers from far away. The alien blood was transforming him. He followed the feeling in his chest step by step until he reached a cold white room. Behind the glass lay the alien girl, Lyra, tubes connected to her arms. Her eyes half open, weak but alive. Ryan slammed his hand against the control panel. Security alarms blared, but his hand, glowing brighter now, that melted the lock like it was wax. He rushed in, tearing off the wires and lifting her gently. "I'm here," he whispered. Her eyes met his. "They know about you now," she said softly in his mind. The door burst open. Soldiers poured in, shouting. Ryan turned, holding Lyra close. A surge of blue energy exploded from his body, knocking everyone back. Windows shattered. Lights went out, silence followed. Ryan stared at his glowing hands, terrified, but also amazed. Lyra touched his chest weakly. Our blood. It's one now. He carried her through the smoke out into the storm. Helicopters roared above, searching. They ran into the darkness together, a human and an alien princess, connected by something deeper than fate. As lightning flashed across the desert sky, Ryan realized a truth that sent shivers through his bones. He wasn't just saving her life anymore. She was changing his, and the world would never be the same again. The rain had stopped, but the air still smelled like smoke and fear. Ryan drove through the night, headlights cutting across the dark desert road. Beside him, Lyra lay in the passenger seat, pale and weak, her silver skin faintly glowing under the moonlight. He didn't know where to go. He only knew one thing: they were coming. Lyra opened her eyes slowly. Her voice wasn't a sound, it was a whisper inside his mind. They won't stop, Ryan. The Black Order never stops. Ryan gripped the wheel tighter. Who are they? She hesitated. Then her words came like broken thoughts. Hunters, shadows. They destroy worlds to keep secrets hidden. Her gaze drifted toward the stars. They will come for me, and now, for you. Ryan swallowed hard. Let them come. He tried to sound brave, but his hands trembled. They stopped at an old gas station on the edge of nowhere. Ryan carried Lyra inside, laying her gently on a dusty couch. Her body temperature was dropping fast. He wrapped her in a blanket, unsure what else to do. When he looked up, he saw a security camera blinking red. For a second, he thought nothing of it. Then the camera sparked and turned toward him. Lyra's eyes widened. They found us. Outside, headlights appeared in the distance. 3 black SUVs moving fast. Ryan felt his heart hammering. He had no weapon, no backup. Just her. He helped Lyra to her feet. We have to go. But before they could move, the door exploded inward. Men in black armor stormed in, holding strange weapons that hummed with blue energy. Hands where we can see them, one shouted. Ryan stood in front of Lyra. She's not your enemy. The man raised his weapon. Neither are you yet. Ryan's veins pulsed with heat. Something inside him reacted to their weapon, to the energy. He felt a vibration in his bones, like the alien blood was waking up. One of the men fired. The blue bolt hit Ryan square in the chest, but instead of falling, he absorbed it. The light burst through his skin, traveling up his arms, glowing brighter and brighter until it exploded outward. The soldiers were thrown back like rag dolls. The walls cracked. The lights shattered. Ryan stood there, shaking, breathing hard. His eyes burned bright blue. He looked at his hands in horror. What's happening to me? Lyra stepped closer, her expression calm but sad. Our blood is one. You are becoming something new. They ran through the back door as the building burned. The night was alive with sirens and the echo of helicopters. Ryan drove until dawn, the desert stretching endless and cold. Lyra sat quietly beside him, watching the rising sun. Your world is changing, she whispered. They will not stop with me. Now they want what's in you. Ryan glanced at her. Then we fight. Lyra turned to him, eyes glowing softly. Fight, yes. But not with hate. With truth. By morning, they reached an abandoned mine. Ryan helped her down into the tunnels, deep where no radar could reach. He built a small fire, trying to keep her warm. She watched the flames, her voice soft. I ran from them for years. My people made me a symbol of peace, but the Black Order wanted power. When I refused, they destroyed my planet. Ryan stared at the fire. And now they'll come for mine. Lyra nodded slowly. Unless you learn to control what's inside you. He looked at her, confused. Control it? I don't even know what it is. Lyra reached out, touching his chest. Their connection pulsed, bright, alive. He saw flashes of stars, burning cities, and alien skies. Her memories poured into him. Her home world, her people, their fall. He gasped, pulling back. That's inside me? She nodded. You carry the link, a bridge between two worlds. You are no longer only human, Ryan. Suddenly, a noise echoed through the mine. Footsteps, voices, metal boots. Lyra's eyes widened. They found us again? Ryan stood, adrenaline rushing through him. He could see their heat signatures through the rocks, like glowing red shapes. His new senses were sharper now, almost alien. When the first soldier stepped into the tunnel, Ryan moved faster than he thought possible. He disarmed him, slammed the weapon aside, and with one strike sent him flying back into the wall. The other men hesitated. Ryan's body glowed brighter, energy swirling like fire around him. He shouted, "You want her? You'll have to go through me." Lyra watched, awe in her eyes. This human, this man, was turning into something the galaxy had never seen. The soldiers fell one by one, blinded by the light. When the dust settled, Ryan stood alone, panting, surrounded by silence. He turned to Lyra. "We can't run forever." She nodded. "No, now we must go where even they fear to follow." Ryan frowned. "Where's that?" Her lips curled into a faint smile. "The stars, Ryan, my home." Ryan looked up through the tunnel's opening. For the first time he realized the war wasn't coming. It had already begun. The stars looked closer that night, too close. Ryan stood at the mouth of the mine, staring at the sky like it was calling to him. He could feel the pull of something far beyond Earth, like invisible hands tugging at his blood. Behind him, Lyra rested near the fire. Her silver eyes watched him quietly. She could see it, the light growing under his skin, the change he didn't yet understand. Ryan clenched his fists. Every heartbeat made his body tremble with power. He no longer felt human, not completely. His senses were sharper. His mind moved faster. He could hear the wind shifting miles away. He could see heat rising off the sand even in the dark. And deep inside, a new rhythm pulsed, not his own. He turned to Lyra. "Tell me the truth. What's happening to me?" She looked at him with sadness. "When our blood mixed, it created something neither of our kinds have seen before." Ryan frowned. "A disease?" Lyra shook her head slowly. "A bridge. Between your world and mine. You are both. And neither." Ryan sat down, the firelight flickering across his face. He stared at his hands, faint blue lines glowing beneath the skin like electric veins. He whispered, "A hybrid." Lyra nodded. "Yes, a living connection. Our bond has rewritten your DNA. You carry my people's power." He looked up at her. "Power to do what?" Her expression hardened. "To save or to destroy. It depends on what you choose." Suddenly, the earth trembled. The fire flickered out. Lyra stood up, alert. "They're near." Ryan scanned the horizon, nothing but shadows. But his senses screamed danger. He could feel them. The Black Order. The sand shifted. From the darkness, strange machines rose. Black drones with spinning blue cores. They hovered silently, scanning the ground. Ryan grabbed Lyra's hand. "Run!" They sprinted into the desert, the drones chasing, firing streaks of light that exploded around them. Ryan felt something awaken inside him. Heat, power, instinct. He turned suddenly, raised his hand, and a blast of blue energy shot from his palm. The drone exploded in midair, scattering metal across the sand. Lyra stared at him in awe. "You're learning fast," Ryan gasped, looking at his hands. "I didn't even think. It just happened." She smiled faintly. "That's the bond. It reacts to emotion." Ryan's heart raced. Then they're in trouble. They reached an old canyon hiding under the rocks. Ryan leaned against the wall, exhausted, his hands still glowing faintly. He could feel the energy burning through him. Raw, alive, dangerous. Lyra sat beside him. "You can't keep using it without control. It will break you." Ryan laughed softly. "Already feels like it's breaking me." She touched his chest gently. "Your heart and mind beat together now. You must learn balance, or both will stop." Her hand glowed and a calm warmth spread through his body. For the first time since the crash, he felt peace. Hours later, as dawn painted the sky gold, Lyra stood up. Her wounds had healed completely. The sunlight didn't hurt her anymore, Ryan noticed. "You're stronger," she smiled softly. "Because of you," he looked confused. "Our blood link goes both ways," she explained. "When you grow stronger, so do I." Ryan looked at her, really looked. She wasn't just an alien anymore. She was alive, emotional, real, and somehow she was becoming the center of his universe. Then the peace shattered. The ground beneath them cracked, a deep rumble echoing through the canyon. Above, a dark ship appeared, sleek and silent, blotting out the morning sun. Lyra's eyes went wide. "That's them, the Black Order flagship." The ship lowered slowly, its shadow swallowing the desert. Dozens of figures descended, their armor black as glass, their faces hidden behind masks. One voice echoed through the air. Deep, mechanical, inhuman. Return the princess. The hybrid must be contained. Ryan stepped forward. You'll have to kill me first. The leader tilted his head. You misunderstand. You are not the enemy. You are the experiment. Ryan's blood ran cold. What are you talking about? The voice crackled again. Her father created the link. You are the final phase. Lyra's face turned pale. No, that's impossible. Ryan looked at her. Lyra, what are they saying? She didn't answer. Her hands trembled. Ryan, my father wanted peace between humans and my kind. The link was his dream to join our blood. But the Black Order twisted it into a weapon. Ryan's heart pounded. So I'm... Their weapon? Lyra's voice shook. Not if you choose differently. Energy surged through him again, brighter than before. He looked at the army descending toward them, and for a second the world slowed. He could see every movement, every ripple of air. He raised his hands, the ground erupted. Blue lightning flashed, splitting the canyon in two. The soldiers flew back, their weapons shattering. Ryan stood tall, surrounded by light, his eyes burning like stars. Lyra whispered, You're no longer human. Ryan turned to her, breathing hard. Then maybe it's time I stop running. He looked up at her. Power to do what? Her expression hardened. To save or to destroy? It depends on what you choose. Suddenly the earth trembled. The fire flickered out. Lyra stood up, alert. They're near. Ryan scanned the horizon, nothing but shadows. But his senses screamed danger. He could feel them. The Black Order. The sand shifted. From the darkness, strange machines rose. Black drones with spinning blue cores. They hovered silently, scanning the ground. Ryan grabbed Lyra's hand. Run! They sprinted into the desert, the drones chasing, firing streaks of light that exploded around them. Ryan felt something awaken inside him. Heat, power, instinct. He turned suddenly, raised his hand, and a blast of blue energy shot from his palm. The drone exploded in midair, scattering metal across the sand. Lyra stared at him in awe. You're learning fast, Ryan gasped, looking at his hands. I didn't even think it just happened. She smiled faintly. That's the bond. It reacts to emotion. Ryan's heart raced. Then they're in trouble. They reached an old canyon hiding under the rocks. Ryan leaned against the wall, exhausted, his hands still glowing faintly. He could feel the energy burning through him. Raw, alive, dangerous. Lyra sat beside him. You can't keep using it without control. It will break you. Ryan laughed softly. Already feels like it's breaking me. She touched his chest gently. Your heart and mind beat together now. You must learn balance, or both will stop. Her hand glowed and a calm warmth spread through his body. For the first time since the crash, he felt peace. Hours later, as dawn painted the sky gold, Lyra stood up. Her wounds had healed completely. The sunlight didn't hurt her anymore, Ryan noticed. You're stronger. She smiled softly. Because of you, he looked confused. Our blood link goes both ways, she explained. When you grow stronger, so do I. Ryan looked at her. Really looked. She wasn't just an alien anymore. She was alive, emotional, real. And somehow she was becoming the center of his universe. Then the peace shattered. The ground beneath them cracked, a deep rumble echoing through the canyon. Above, a dark ship appeared, sleek and silent, blotting out the morning sun. Lyra's eyes went wide. That's them. The Black Order flagship. The ship lowered slowly, its shadow swallowing the desert. Dozens of figures descended, their armor black as glass, their faces hidden behind masks. One voice echoed through the air, deep, mechanical, inhuman. Return the princess. The hybrid must be contained. Ryan stepped forward. You'll have to kill me first. The leader tilted his head. You misunderstand. You are not the enemy. You are the experiment. Ryan's blood ran cold. What are you talking about? The voice crackled again. Her father created the link. You are the final phase. Lyra's face turned pale. No, that's impossible. Ryan looked at her. Lyra, what are they saying? She didn't answer. Her hands trembled. Ryan, my father wanted peace between humans and my kind. The link was his dream, to join our blood. But the Black Order twisted it into a weapon. Ryan's heart pounded. So I'm... Their weapon? Lyra's voice shook. Not if you choose differently. Energy surged through him again, brighter than before. He looked at the army descending toward them, and for a second the world slowed. He could see every movement, every ripple of air. He raised his hands, the ground erupted. Blue lightning flashed, splitting the canyon in two. The soldiers flew back, their weapons shattering. Ryan stood tall, surrounded by light, his eyes burning like stars. Lyra whispered, "You're no longer human." Ryan turned to her, breathing hard. "Then maybe it's time I stop running." He looked up at the ship hovering above. "Tell me, Lyra, how do we get to your world?" Lyra smiled faintly, hope flickering in her eyes. "We'll need to steal a ship," Ryan smirked. "Then let's go steal one." And as they vanished into the rising sun, the Black Order's commander watched from the shadows, whispering in the alien tongue. "The hybrid has awakened. The war begins." The sky above Earth burned with strange light. For 3 nights straight, people across the planet saw bright trails moving through the stars. Silent, fast, unnatural. News called them meteors. But Ryan knew better. They weren't meteors. They were ships, and they were coming for him. He and Lyra hid in the mountains now, deep inside an old military radar station. The place smelled of rust and dust, but it was quiet, safe enough for the moment. Lyra sat near the console, her glowing hands working quickly over the controls. Blue light flowed from her fingertips into the old machine, waking it up after years of silence. Ryan watched in awe. "You can fix tech just by touching it?" Lyra smiled faintly. "I don't fix it. I talk to it." The monitor flickered on, showing a map of Earth's orbit, dots everywhere, moving fast. Ryan leaned closer. "How many ships?" Her face turned pale. "Too many. The Black Order has already reached your moon." Ryan stepped back, stunned. "The moon? Why the hell would they?" Lyra looked up, her expression grave. "Because that's where my people built their last base, before Earth ever knew we existed." Ryan stared at her. "You mean there are aliens living on the moon?" She nodded slowly. "Not living, hiding. They needed a ship. A human one wouldn't work, not against alien firepower." Lyra told him about an old alien craft buried under the base, one that could still fly if repaired. Ryan rolled up his sleeves. "Then we fix it." For 2 days they worked in silence. Sparks flew. Metal hummed. Ryan's new strength and Lyra's strange technology blended perfectly, like 2 halves of one mind. When the engines finally roared to life, the ground trembled. Lyra smiled for the first time in days. "It still remembers me," Ryan grinned back. "Then let's go home." The ship lifted from the mountains, slicing through the clouds like silver lightning. Ryan had never seen Earth from above like this, so blue, endless, fragile. But as they reached orbit, his breath caught. The moon wasn't silent anymore. Massive alien ships floated above its surface, dark, smooth, like blades in the sky. They surrounded a glowing base on the far side, firing at it. Lyra's face tightened. "They're already attacking my people." Ryan's fists clenched. "Then we fight." They landed behind a crater near the base. As soon as the hatch opened, strange figures appeared. Tall, graceful beings with silver armor and white eyes. They surrounded Ryan instantly, weapons ready. Lyra stepped forward, shouting in their language. The soldiers froze. Then one knelt. "Princess Lyra," he said in a soft, musical voice. "You live," Ryan exhaled, relieved. Finally, some good news, but Lyra didn't smile. "They think you're dangerous," she said quietly. Ryan blinked. "What? I just saved your life, twice." Lyra's gaze softened. "To them, you're something they don't understand. A human with royal blood, a mistake of fate." Inside the base, alien lights flickered like blue fireflies. The walls were alive, pulsing with soft energy. Ryan felt strange. The air hummed in his chest like a song he almost remembered. Lyra guided him to a vast chamber filled with ancient machines. "This is the core," she said. "My father's creation. It was meant to bring peace to the galaxy. Now it's dying." Ryan touched one of the glowing panels. His veins lit up instantly, matching its rhythm. The machine came alive, reacting to him. Lyra stepped back in shock. "It recognizes you." He turned to her. "Maybe it's time I understand what I really am." Before she could answer, the walls shook violently. An explosion rocked the base. Sirens screamed in alien tones. Lyra's soldiers rushed in, shouting. "The Black Order has landed." Ryan looked up at the ceiling. Cracks of light formed above. He could see shadows moving outside, the ships descending. Lyra turned to him. "We can't hold this base. We have to leave." Ryan shook his head. "We can't keep running. We need to end this." The floor split open as a massive black figure crashed through the roof. Tall, armored, glowing red eyes. The air burned around it. Lyra's soldiers opened fire, but the bolts bounced off harmlessly. The figure raised its weapon and blasted them backward. Ryan stood his ground. "You again," he said coldly. It was the same commander from Earth. The creature's voice boomed. "Hybrid. The galaxy will not survive your existence." Ryan's eyes glowed blue. "Guess they'll have to adapt." They collided in a burst of light and thunder. The battle was chaos, fire, energy, explosions shaking the moon itself. Ryan moved faster than he ever had. Every strike felt guided by something inside him, ancient and unstoppable. He pushed the commander back, smashing him through a wall. But the creature only laughed. "You can't win, human. You're fighting what you are," Ryan snarled. "Then I'll rewrite what I am." With one final surge, he sent a shockwave through the base, throwing the enemy back into his ship. The vessel burst into flames and crashed into the lunar dust. Ryan collapsed to his knees, breathing hard. Lyra ran to him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You saved them." He looked up at the alien soldiers bowing before her. But their eyes weren't full of trust. "They were full of fear," Lyra whispered. Almost to herself, "They don't see a hero. Ryan, they see a weapon." Ryan stood slowly, staring out the window at Earth. Small, blue, distant. "If they're afraid of me," he said quietly. "Then maybe they should be." The galaxy was burning. From one end of the stars to the other, fire spread across black space. And somewhere in that chaos, Ryan Cole drifted alone, inside a stolen alien fighter, bleeding, tired, and angry. It had been 3 days since Lyra was taken. He had watched her disappear, pulled into the Black Order's ship as it rose into the dark sky above the moon. He had tried to follow, but their engines tore through space faster than light. Now he was chasing ghosts, a human heartbeat echoing through endless silence, but he could still feel her. The bond between them burned like a faint blue thread in his mind. Every pulse, every whisper, every emotion. She was still alive. Ryan slammed a fist on the console. "Hang on, Lyra, I'm coming." Outside, starlight streaked past his ship. He was flying faster than any human ever had. The alien blood inside him hummed with power, guiding his hands, his thoughts, even his breathing. Then, a voice crackled through the comms. Static, then words. "Unidentified vessel. State your allegiance." Ryan hesitated. The voice was calm, female, alien, but not hostile. "This is Captain Riven of the Ilarian Resistance." "Who are you?" Ryan smiled weakly. "Name's Ryan Cole. I'm looking for someone." A pause. Then the voice changed, surprised, maybe even hopeful. The hybrid. The stories were true. When his ship landed on a large asteroid base, hundreds of alien eyes watched him. They looked like Lyra. Silver skin, glowing eyes, but with faces hardened by war. He climbed out of the fighter, his boots hitting the metal floor. Whispers filled the air. That's him. The human. The one who carries royal blood. Ryan felt their stares. Half awe, half fear. He didn't blame them. He barely knew what he was anymore. Captain Riven approached. Her armor was scratched, her voice low and strong. "You're the one the princess spoke of. She said you'd come." Ryan's heart leaped. "She's alive?" Riven nodded. "Yes, but she's being held on Viron 9, the Black Order's main fortress. No one who enters leaves alive." Ryan clenched his fists. "Then we'll be the first." Riven studied him for a moment, then said, "You sound like her." He looked at her. "She changed me." Riven's expression softened. "Then maybe you can change the galaxy too." Days passed. Ryan trained with the Resistance. His body was stronger now, faster, but the alien energy inside him was unstable. When he used too much, his veins burned like fire. One night while resting, he heard Lyra's voice again, faint but clear. "Ryan." He closed his eyes. "Lyra, where are you?" Her voice trembled. "Inside their core. They're using my blood to power the weapon. If they fire it, every world connected to the link will die." Ryan froze. The weapon wasn't just a bomb. It was alive, feeding on her life force. He whispered, "Then I'll stop it. Or die trying." Lyra's voice faded, soft and sad. Please don't die, Ryan. The Resistance launched their attack 2 days later. Hundreds of ships burst from the shadows of an asteroid field. Lasers slicing through the black void, the Black Order fleet opened fire, turning space into chaos. Ryan led the front line, his ship glowing with blue light. Every move felt natural, like the stars themselves guided him. Explosions painted the sky. Alien ships spun out of control. Ryan dove through enemy fire, his fighter roaring like thunder. He wasn't just flying. He was becoming the energy around him. Finally, he reached Viron 9, a massive black sphere floating over a dying planet. The fortress glowed red from within, pulsing like a giant heart. Ryan could feel Lyra inside it, weak, fading. He landed in a storm of fire and smoke. The hangar was filled with enemy soldiers, but Ryan didn't hesitate. Energy flared from his hands, sending waves of blue light that shattered weapons and metal alike. He moved like lightning, every strike faster than thought. When the smoke cleared, he stood alone. Where is she? He shouted. Deep inside the fortress, he found her, suspended in a glass chamber glowing faintly. Wires ran through her body. The machine hummed, drawing power from her veins. Ryan pressed his hand to the glass. Lyra, it's me. Her eyes fluttered open. You shouldn't have come. I told you, he whispered. I don't leave people behind. The alarms blared. The Black Order commander appeared on a high platform, surrounded by guards. His voice echoed through the chamber. You can't stop it, hybrid. The blood you share is our power now. Ryan's eyes blazed blue. Then I'll take it back. He plunged his hand into the control core. Pain tore through him, his blood and hers merging again through the machine. The energy grew wild, unstable. Lyra screamed, Ryan, stop!
You'll die!
He smiled weakly. If it saves you, it's worth it. The entire fortress began to shake. The energy surged outward, breaking the glass, freeing Lyra. She fell into his arms as blue light filled the room. Ryan's body glowed brighter than a star. His voice was barely a whisper. Tell them, humans can love too. Then the light exploded and swallowing everything. When it was over, Viron 9 was gone. The Resistance ships floated in silence, watching as a new star appeared where the fortress once stood. Lyra opened her eyes aboard a rescue craft. She felt warmth on her hand, weighing a faint glow like a heartbeat. Ryan's heartbeat. She looked out at the new sun in the void and whispered, You didn't die. You became light. The war was over. But the galaxy was silent. A strange, peaceful silence that came only after the fire. Where Viron 9 once burned, a new sun now shone. Soft blue light spreading across the void. Planets that had been dark for centuries now glimmered again. Ships drifted near it in awe, whispering one name, Ryan Cole. On the bridge of the Ilarian flagship, Princess Lyra stood alone, her silver hair floating gently in the low gravity. Her reflection shimmered against the window, tired eyes, soft glow, and a faint pulse of light under her skin. That light was him. She pressed a hand to her chest, feeling the heartbeat that was no longer fully hers. Ryan, she whispered. You became the sky. Every world connected to the link felt it, the human heartbeat that still pulsed through the stars. The energy Ryan released didn't vanish. It rewrote the fabric of space, weaving a new path between alien and human life. The galaxy was no longer divided. It was fused, bound by blood, by choice, by love. Lyra moved through the rebuilt base on the moon, now glowing with blue energy from the newborn sun. Humans and aliens worked side by side, repairing ships, sharing technology, laughing like children who'd forgotten the sound of war. One soldier saluted her. Princess, and the council awaits. Lyra nodded gently. No, not princess anymore. Just Lyra. Ryan had never bowed to titles, so neither would she. The council chamber was filled with voices, human generals, alien leaders, scientists, soldiers. They argued about new borders, new laws, new control. Lyra let them talk for a while. Then she stood and said quietly, Ryan Cole didn't die for power. He died for understanding. The room fell silent. Her voice grew stronger. He gave his life so that we could see what we truly are. One blood. One hope. The leaders bowed their heads. Even humans who once feared her now saw the truth in her eyes. Later that night, Lyra walked alone outside the base. Earth floated in the distance, blue, bright, alive. She smiled faintly. "You'd hate all this politics," she whispered. A small ship landed behind her. Captain Riven stepped out. "You talk to him every night." Lyra didn't turn. "He still listens." Riven crossed her arms. "You really believe he became that star?" Lyra looked up at the glowing sun and the black sky. "When I touch the light, I feel his heartbeat. It's not belief. It's proof." Days turned to months. The new alliance formed, humans and Illyrians working as equals. Ryan's story spread across both galaxies, told in schools, sung in music, whispered in prayers. They called him the Blood of Stars, the man who shared his life to unite the universe. Some said he was a myth. Some said he was a god. Lyra only smiled. He was just human, but she knew better. He was more than human. One evening, she visited the new temple built at the edge of the lunar sea. Inside, blue light danced across the walls, a living memorial. In the center floated a crystal sphere, pulsing gently like a heart. It held a drop of Ryan's blood, the last trace the explosion had left behind. She touched the glass. The light brightened instantly. A soft whisper filled her mind. "Lyra?" Her breath caught. "Ryan, you kept your promise." Tears welled in her eyes. "You're still here. Always." The light flickered and warm, familiar. "The galaxy is yours now. Protect it." Lyra smiled through her tears. "Not mine. Ours." Outside, children played under the new dawn. Half human, half Illyrian, their laughter echoing through the rebuilt domes. Ships lifted toward the stars, their engines glowing blue, the same light that once shone in Ryan's eyes. Lyra walked among them, no crown on her head, no guards beside her. Only a quiet peace in her heart. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy wasn't ruled by fear. It was guided by memory. That night, she stood on a cliff of silver dust and watched the blue sun rise again, the light reflected in her eyes, soft and endless. "Do you see it, Ryan?" she whispered. They finally stopped fighting. The wind brushed her face, soft, almost human. And for a moment, she felt his hand in hers, warm and steady. She closed her eyes. The voice in her heart whispered, "I'm always here." Lyra smiled. "Then this is enough." As the new dawn spread across the void, the universe glowed with two colors, the blue of alien light and the gold of human warmth. Together, they painted the stars with a promise that would never fade. And across the endless night, the legend of Ryan Cole, the man who shared his blood with an alien princess and changed the galaxy forever, became the heartbeat of a new world, a world born from love and lit by the blood of stars.